Cable Bahamas has been and continues to be a positive shot in the arm for our summer camps. We look forward to it. Without Cable Bahamas, I don't know if we will succeed because we look forward to the funding and we are very appreciative, particularly the Cable Cares program. We are very appreciative to what they do.
We thank the Cable Cares Foundation, which would have given into this program, and it's going to pay dividends in the long run because each one of these children are affected.
Well, Cable Bahamas Foundation has helped us in a huge way. We are out there looking for all kinds of help, and I am so happy that the Cable Foundation didn't decline us based on the economy and what is going on today.
So they've been with us for a long time, and we look for them to be with us for many years to come.
Long lines and high tempers at some locations as residents prepare for Erika. Meanwhile, donations for the Red Cross are down from last year. The Bahamas' credit rating downgraded again. Plus, when Daniel Key Airport will get some much-needed repairs. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Kyle Joaquin, and ND12 starts right now. Welcome once again to NB12. Meteorologists project no island will be spared when Tropical Storm Erika barrels through the Bahamas. The storm is expected to strengthen as it approaches the country later this week. And as it is the first major storm to affect the country for what was a relatively quiet hurricane season, many New Providence residents aren't taking any chances. Our news team made the rounds today to see how some businesses were preparing. At one in particular, the line wasn't just out of the door, traffic wrapped around the block.
From 9:30 on that corner, I just had to barely make it to the light because when no car don't knock me, somebody let me through from 9:30 this morning, sir. I don't have no reason to lie to you. 9:30 this morning. They need to set up little posters over there to do this one. And it's very bad. See my car empty? 9:30.
And that was just one of the many visibly upset customers outside Chelsea's Choice today. Customers were lined off in their cars along Abundant Life Road waiting to get their hands on fresh bottles of water in preparation for Erika. The storm, which is expected to reach the southern Bahamas Saturday morning and New Providence Sunday morning, could at its strongest be a Category 1 hurricane by the time it makes landfall, according to meteorologists. And with only 3 days to prepare, many New Providence residents found themselves waiting, in some cases for hours, just to get water.
They've been on this line now almost 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours. It's long and man.
The highway is blocked up. I had to drive all the way around to come here because if I had to stay on that line, I'd never get served. It's common sense. It seems like people didn't get much of that.
How long have you been here waiting?
You've been here for 2 hours. I've been here for 15 minutes. I just know how to get served. That's all.
15 minutes? So how did you get to the front of the line so fast in 15 minutes?
Because a woman there had the line block up. I drive around and look and she can't see. She's right there block up. She seems like she can't drive. So I just drive around and come join the line.
On the southern side of the depot, the line went around the bend and to the traffic light. Inside the water depot's yard, the lines were doubled to minimize the traffic blocking the road. But not everyone was as upset. Some said they understood this is just what they had to go through.
Well, the lines are long. I was just hoping they might have had 2 gates, so the lines could flow easily. But I noticed there's only one entrance and looked like one exit. Yeah. So, but I mean, the waiter waited for me because when you buy it from the depots on the street, you tend to pay more money. So, but if you come here, you pay less, so.
But I guess a lot of persons believe that because tomorrow is payday, they're gonna get here before the rush, but there's the rush too.
Over at Super Value in Golden Gates, we found many packing their carts with snacks and perishable items. Candles, flashlights, batteries, and other goods were flying off the shelves. But while shelves are stocked now, Perishable Items Supervisor Clifton Fernander anticipates canned goods and other items that don't require refrigeration to go fast.
All of our stores are fully stocked. All the canned goods in terms of tuna, corned beef, cream and stuff, all of our stores are fully stocked. And we have our warehouse is on alert, ready to go. Stuff like hurricane items, water, we are fully stocked, batteries, candles, matches and stuff. And then we are also asking all of our local vendors to actually be on alert, to be ready in case we need other backup. But all of our stores are fully stocked.
And over at Atlantis on Paradise Island, Senior VP of Public Relations Ed Fields explained that the resort goes through this every year, and he said they've got a plan in place.
Obviously, we've gone through this a zillion times, and so we have a very, very good hurricane crisis preparedness team, and we watch the storm as it comes, and as it comes, we go into full gear, and we start to ramp up as it becomes more imminent that if it were going to impact us, and we make sure that our guests and our employees are safe and sound, and we do a good job in that. So in fact, some of our best ratings are during hurricane time.
Well, the director of the Bahamas Red Cross says so far hurricane shelters are ready. Carolyn Turnquest said they've also got their teams ready and in place to go out and render assistance to anyone in need. However, Turnquest said for the second year in a row, donations to the Bahamas Red Cross are down.
Donations for this year have been down over last year. We don't see that the persons are ready, but we know Bahamians and the way the average Bahamian would operate is that should there be an impact and should we need their services, then of course they will rise to it. But the average person just walking in, that doesn't happen.
Turnquest said despite the decrease in donations, the Red Cross is still equipped to rush out when needed. This includes the Family Islands.
Well, as you know, in the Family Islands, we have what we call group members. We have a leader in the major islands, a group leader. We also work closely with the administrator on the island. And so we have in those islands, we've been able to do some training, some what we call CERT training, and a number of those persons are ready and prepared in the event something should impact the island. A lot of them have training thanks to our partnership with the American Red Cross.
And for all you tech-savvy people out there, the Bahamas Red Cross also has a hazard app. To download, Android or iPhone users can just search Red Cross Hazards. Turnquest says the app has a lot of useful information that can help before, during, and after the storm.
We are pleading to you to get those apps on your smartphones for those with smartphones. In there you'll find how to prepare, how to access any risks, a checklist for you to take to the supermarket. So little things that you can do for yourself.
In other news, international credit ratings agency Standard & Poor's has once again downgraded the Bahamas' credit rating and placed the country's economy on a negative outlook. The action was taken due to the short-term economic shock brought on by Bahamas' bankruptcy filing and an increasingly remote chance of a quick settlement in the resort's legal battles. The government has responded to the downgrade, saying it was not unexpected. Simone Davis reports.
S&P dropped its foreign and local currency sovereign credit rating for the Bahamas from BBB to BBB negative, remaining just within the agency's investment grade category. In a report issued Tuesday evening, S&P said it believes the stalled opening of Bahamas would depress economic growth. According to S&P, long-term growth obstacles stifling an increasingly fragile domestic economy only worsened the overall situation with its likely failure to open in December. The statement read, "We do not believe that the parties involved, the developer, its main lender, and the contractor will manage to resolve their differences in time for the high season beginning in December." CEO at the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Edison Sumner, said he agrees with the notion that the downgrade would increase the rate at which the government borrows money.
The impact is that it's likely to cause the status of the Bahamas and the ability of the Bahamas government to borrow money, the capacity for that has been diminished because of the downgrade. Right? A downgrade simply means that the Bahamas, it's really about credit rating, right? What are you, as a creditor, how likely are you to borrow, to qualify to borrow money? And once you borrow this money, what is the chance of you paying it back? Right.
S&P's negative outlook means that there is a greater than 1 in 3 chance that the ratings agency will again lower the Bahamas' ratings within 6 to 24 months. The statement continued, "Not only do we see the completion of the construction of this $3.5 million mega resort delayed, but we also expect that bookings would take longer to fill the complex once it does open." Sumner said government officials met with S&P about a month ago where they discussed the possible downgrade and told the agency it would not be the best approach to rate the economy based on a single project.
We met with Standard & Poor's maybe a month, 2 months ago, perhaps 2 months or so ago. And they raised the issue with us about this potential downgrade of the sovereign credit rating for the country. And they were hinging a lot of that on the developments at Bahamas. We said ourselves at that time that we thought it was not the best approach, we thought, and that even with their review of the country's credit rating, that it should not have been on any single private development in the country.
The government wasted no time replying to the ratings agency's downgrade. In a statement from the Ministry of Finance, the ministry said the move was not unexpected, while stating that the agency did not sufficiently affirm the government's efforts to cause a reduction in the country's debt burden. The government maintained that Bahamas and additional projects were on track to make healthy contributions to the economy over the medium term. And it is important to emphasize that the Bahamas maintained its investment grade status. The S&P report noted that the agency could spare the Bahamas yet another downgrade if the government takes prudent measures to offset the damage to the country's growth projections caused by Bahamas' legal battles. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
And President of the Bahamas Bar Association, Ellsworth Johnson, weighing in on claims of conflict of interest on the part of F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis and Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson. While Johnson would not discuss any of the issues directly, he said whether there was a conflict or not doesn't matter so much as the appearance of a conflict of interest.
It looks bad. You don't want in public office to look bad. Now, sometimes you do certain things and people are going to say certain things, but certain things you just ought not to find yourself. As I said earlier, you have to be above reproach. You have to be like Caesar's wife, chaste. And I think where we go wrong is that we're looking for the conflict. But when you assume government office, you are to avoid the appearance. You try your endeavor best to avoid it. And if we take that mindset, we will never get to the conflict.
Johnson said there's an even greater responsibility on people who enter public office to be honest in their dealings with government and special interests. In the absence of public figures being forthcoming with their interests, he said legislation is needed to enforce disclosure.
Prior to the last general election, an international group came into the Bahamas. And that is one of the things that they suggested, that we need public disclosure legislation. We need a Freedom of Information Act, because in this country one gets the serious impression that the norm is that you have no right to know. But public disclosure legislation and a Freedom of Information Act assist us with getting rid of all of these things that we have to deal with now, because you would know. And I think it would prevent individuals from getting into certain of the activities that they get into.